Welcome back, guys. Mike here, and today we're looking at sheet critique. But before we get started, remember the goal for this month: 600 subscribers. It's my goal, and I think we can get there. So, what's the title today? We are looking at there's no such thing as balance for successful men. Now, right off the bat, this is a continuation of the previous video where we were talking about having quality time, and we'll insert a card here, but yeah, the title is 100% right. There is no balance for that. You want a super successful man? Well, it takes time to build success, and it also takes time to maintain it. Again, that's why most guys aren't successful, because the average man views as there are more important things in a career. There are, but again, if you're ultra ambitious, then you want to devote as much time to that to success as possible. It does become an obsession. Nothing wrong with that, because again, there is a lot of women find that attractive. Ladies, you just have to understand what you're getting. You want that guy who's super successful. He's not going to have a lot of time for you. But let's see what the panel says. Maybe I'm wrong, right?
Than your peers, but that does not mean that your family is not suffering because of your financial success. That does not mean that your overall happiness is not suffering because of your financial success. And so when I'm talking about
That's a
balance,
good
I'm
point.
talking about overall. I'm not just talking about the money that you're bringing home to your family.
At this, Inez, respectfully, you're tripping. The primary reason I'm where I'm at in my life at my age is because I outwork most of my peers. There's no such thing as balance for successful men.
Okay, well, that's kind of probably where they got the title from. But let's see what they say.
True. You're going to give up one or the other. I
Yeah.
mean,
I
being
totally
successful, you're
agree.
probably going to give up time.
But this is the thing, though. I think
I
when you
totally
are a
agree.
single man, look, if JB just got married, I'm gonna just try to give a
Maybe
little
she
bit
understands.
advice, just a little bit. Um, is when you were single, that should have been your priority and purpose, your drive. But now that you married, there needs to be some shifting. I'm not saying not to work, but if you are married and about to plan to start having a family at some point, your priority needs to become your family. That's all I'm saying.
I will also say, just because that comment was directed at me, I'm not tripping and you cannot outlogic me. Um, Financial success and overall success are two very different conversations. So you might be financially in a better position than your peers, but that does not mean that your family is not suffering because of your financial success. That does not mean that your overall happiness is not suffering because of your financial success. And so when I'm talking about balance, I'm talking about overall. I'm not just talking about the money that you're bringing home to your family.
I will.
I actually agree with her. Again, it is about there. Okay, if success in your career is your goal, then there is balance there. And what I mean by that is that you're willing to sacrifice certain things because you're getting what you want. But see, for a lot of average people, that's not the goal. I don't want to do that, because again, there is a high percentage of successful people who are unhappy, and we don't talk about it because again, we're not going through that. See, a lot of times when you talk to people who are at that level of financial success, it ain't all peaches and cream. Like, there's a reason why, how should I put this the best way I can? The higher up the ladder you move, the more stressful it is. Plain and simple. And every guy, I don't care who you are, you have a limit, because again, even with there's you get to a point where, okay, I don't want to move up anymore because it's just not worth the money. Yeah, I'm gonna make more money, but I got three times the workload and two times the stress load, and every man has that point. You're not gonna sit here and tell me that you don't, because if it was, everybody would be rich, or everybody would be ultra successful. But it's not. There are things that are trade offs. Family being a big one. For most people, it's not worth it to sacrifice family in order to make extra money. So you do have to find that balance, or I should say, you do have to find out what your limits are as far as what you're willing to sacrifice. Because we talked about this in the last video. He made a great point about there's only so many hours in a day. You can only devote so much time to working before other things start to fall apart. That's why the whole power couple thing doesn't work.
I'll say that women do want a man who is, when it comes in terms of success, usually financially. At least that's what we hear all across the YouTube streets, and then we'll say that I don't see him enough. So I will say
Yep.
that at least. But yeah,
Yep.
you guys are both right.
Yeah,
And
we want
issue,
it all, but we can't have it both ways.
It's not
Like,
Right.
yeah.
yeah, we want them
Yeah.
to have that drive. We want them to make all of this money, but then it comes at a cost with the time, and then we're upset and we're like, he's never here with the family.
Yeah, I love a conversation because again, we're getting insight into the lifestyle of what people say, what the general population says that they want. Well, I want a man who makes all this money. Okay, but there are caveats to that. Not just the cheating thing that everybody talks about that may or may not be, whatever. But 100%, there are guys out there making that much money. I guarantee, no, he is. There is no job out there that pays, that pays 100 grand a year and you work 40 hours a week. There's not. That job does not exist. Okay, we need to start getting through their heads. But the other thing we're talking about here is that it's lifestyle. You get to see, because again, we have to peel back the layers of what that actually looks like and how does that break down. So you're a stay-at-home wife from a man who makes, $120,000 a year. You don't see him that much. Y'all got 2 kids. Okay, well, guess who your best friends are? Something to consider, right? Because he's always at work. So what does that mean for you? You always at home with the kids. Something to consider. I mean, because we don't talk about these things. And I can tell you right now, you're going to spend all that time with the kids, they're going to drive you crazy. That's just what it is. You can see why, well, look, let's keep going because I might be going in the wrong direction. By the way, look at that ring on Coach K's finger. Y'all see that?
I don't get to spend enough time. Like,
She is flexing that thing. She just got it like this. Go ahead, then. That's what you're supposed to do.
can't have it both ways. Either A, that we prioritize the money along with the guy and be okay with not having the time, or allow him to make whatever decisions he would need to make on that end, which means the money may have the potential to suffer, but you get more time. For
so
me,
I'll,
at this stage of my life, I'm okay with foregoing some things, foregoing things over having the time. Like, before we had this, my husband was downstairs playing music. He came upstairs to check on me, and we just danced a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, those are the moments that I can't pay for. If he wasn't here because he's working extra because I want a bigger house or I want more of this or that, I'm going to miss out on the times where we're just dancing or where we're just, talking or making jokes or things like that. And those are the things that I can definitely know and see that I value. I value those things, and so do he.
But
So
just want to
it's
say,
so crazy though, the real fast. I think that is just to the person. Some people
mhm.
are, you have to be around your mate all the time. Like I told you one time, I just need a little bit. It's okay. Do you go to work a
You
little
want a
bit?
whole nother house.
I even bring you some lunch to work. But I think it's just that there it is. You have to find that person who works best for you. And maybe that situation would work best for you, but it may work okay for his wife.
Yeah. So what she's really trying to say is that while there's not somebody for everybody out there, because math doesn't work like that, the numbers don't match up. There is a type as a type of man for every woman. Some women are willing to sacrifice quality time in order to get some things that they are looking for. It's just interesting about we talked about this before about maturity level in our kids and how we're going to raise the level of maturity so that we can be ready for marriage younger. Yeah. part of that conversation, or a subcategory of that conversation, is about what type of man you're actually looking for. Because again, the women who tend to get when they're younger, they tend to get that high earning guy. This guy's got, he's making a lot of money. A lot of times, that reason why they end up in divorce is because they get bored at home. They got nothing else. Is again, most people would prefer the time over the benefits of having the income. I know that's counterintuitive to what everybody talks about on YouTube, but let's look at real life. Most people are not making that kind of money. That's part of the reason. The other reason is because it's just not, there's only a certain amount of resources out there for you to just bring home. But think about it. The average income, like in the state of Georgia, is $37,000 for men. Okay, it's not like you can't go and get, that's your regular job. Your regular job may pay you 35, and then you go get another job, a part-time job. And that could give you an extra $10,000-$15,000 a year. But most people don't want to do that, though, because of sacrifice of time that you miss out on things. But especially when you have kids, because a lot of those moments you just can't get back. Your child's first steps, that's only going to happen once. It's a whole bunch of moments like that a lot of times we as men, we don't see the value in it, because we're just out here trying to provide, because we're going off the goals of what? We're going off a weak plan for our family. That's what that is. So your plan should include about, it should get detailed to the point where, okay, well, how much money do we need to bring in order to reach our goals? Because then if you're when you're putting that plan together with your spouse's input, right, then you can work out what you're willing to sacrifice. Because at that point it becomes, well, we agreed on this, so we need to stick to it. Now, if we're both feeling like we need to make adjustments, then you go back and adjust the life plan. But rarely does that happen, because again, the goals that you should be including in your plan should be big enough that small things aren't going to deter them. So I know we were way off topic, because they're definitely not about to start talking about that stuff. This conversation ain't going there. I know it.
So I agree with that, Shane. I'll toss it right to you, Marcus, because I just want to get this off. I agree with that, but here's the thing: is like, we talk about legacy so freaking much, right? We talk about legacy day in, day out, all the time. But here's the thing: is if you are not a man who is in your household, you cannot, under any circumstances, guarantee that your legacy is going to continue. You are not there to instill your values. You are not there to impart your wisdom. All you are leaving behind is inheritance.
She's
right. If you do not have enough
balance, part of the legacy, though.
It's only part of it, but you can't have the entirety of it.
And hard work.
Also there.
Hard work is, and let me just
and dedication to a cause. What are we talking about?
Absolutely.
Let me say,
hang on, give me 1 second, Shan. I promise. But here's the thing: how many people, right, are out here either in therapy or refusing therapy because their particular parent was not there, right? How much damage does that person do? No matter whether you were out getting resources or not, that parent was not there. That child did not feel love from that parent because that parent was simply not there, right?
Well,
you were not an active parent. Hang on, give me 1 second. Let me get this off. I promise. Give me 30 seconds. I will get this off, right? At the end of the day, if you are not there, right? If you are not an active parent, you are not an active partner, all you are doing is bringing in resources.
I see Marcus got the, he got the youngin in the camera with it, and that was just like so appropriate, right? For the timing. That's crazy, but hey,
that is
live
it.
panels,
and
right?
Yes, that is a part of legacy. But if you are leaving half of it behind by being active, by modeling out what it looks like to be a husband, a father, if you are not there to impart your wisdom, and all of your values, your morals, your ethics onto this kid, like you have no balance at all. One, I don't know any child that's going to actually understand that and not have to process all of that.
Okay, so she's getting long-winded here, but basically, she mentioned the morals and ethics. Discipline and integrity, the dime, go right along with that, because it's easier for children to comprehend it when they hear it from the horse's mouth instead of through a third party, which would be your wife. it makes more sense when they can hear it from you. But if you're never there, how's all they're gonna hear is well, dad's just going. Daddy works, and you send your kid to class and they start talking about you, and all they can say is, well, daddy works. Like, that's cool on a little bit, but the conversation, your child's description of you shouldn't be 2 words to form a sentence. Just daddy works. Their dad, because again, my question is, how do you prevent your child, particularly your daughters, from valuing men based on their wallets? Because that's all that's all you order her. Well, he just works all the time because he's making money for the family. Okay, but what else? Is that it? What are we teaching? What are we teaching our children? Like, I get it. You got to go and provide. But again, there has to be some kind of balance with family there. Because if that's the case, and your kids are going to they're going to start to resent you because you've spent so much time and they've missed out on having you around. This is probably why, this would explain why a lot of times, we're talking about legacy, but a lot of times in the entrepreneurial space, one of the things that they talk about when they want to get you in is that you can build a business for your family and pass it down. Yeah, but you know what the problem with that is that the majority of the time the kids with said business don't want to work in it. Why? Because the parents spent so much time. The child grew up thinking that business was more important than them. So how do you avoid that? Well, you're going to have to balance out spending some quality time. Now, if you got a family business, meaning that your wife can put some time in at with the business too, and y'all can trade off, that's probably the best case scenario. But again, a lot of times on YouTube, the talking point is the man goes out and makes all the money and the wife stays home and takes care of the kids. It's a reason why the majority of the population doesn't do that. I don't know why we never talk about it, but there it is. It's only about 30% of women who are stay-at-home moms. So, again, be ready for what you're signing up for. High level conversation, people. We need more of them.
And 2, is that money really worth it? At the end of the day, is that something that you can feel good about yourself, that you gave up some amount of balance to bring in these resources that have worked against you because this child was not actually able to understand, right? That's all I'm saying.
Wait, hold up. Can I just say one thing?
No, we got a line here.
You got to get these likes up, though. It's 11 likes, and it's 243 people in here. Get them likes up.
But that's when the wife needs to step in as doing her job. She needs to go and explain it to the child why your father is doing what he's doing.
Yeah.
That's her job.
Let me tell you this. Let me tell you this.
Sit on her ass and
let me tell you
the benefits.
Let me tell you this. No, let me just say this. As a person, and this really happened in my classroom. On the first day, I asked people to tell me about your family. And there was one thing that the 3 kids who mentioned their father, you know what they said about their fathers? I love my dad because I see how hard he works for our family, how hard he puts in that. These are things, this is real life. This is what they said. They never said any. The 3 people who talked about their dad, those were the things that they said. It's like, I just see how hard he's working for us, and I respect that out of him. That's what they said. And okay. I'm not lying.
I will say this. Prior to my, I was a workaholic type of person. Whatever I was going to do, I was going to work my hardest. And all I could see is the goal, like video games. I'm just trying to get the highest score, the most achievements, right? And one of my guys was like, "You gonna go to Miami with me?" And this right before my daughter was born. I'm like, "Yeah, I'll probably."
Okay, I think we've seen this part, so I don't know what's going on here because I think I've reacted to this part already. Let's skip ahead and see if there's something else. Because if that's it, then that's it. But
average people, though, y'all talking about people who's above average. Let me finish now. Our school hours. For high school, I'm saying.
Okay, yeah, we've seen that part of the conversation. We already, check out another video. One of my other videos, we talk about that, and because Hink's going in about the hours of the day. No need to go any further. But the first part of this video was definitely new, and we definitely got some high level conversations because again, we get insight into what these lifestyles that everybody talks about on YouTube, what it actually looks like real time, and what you need to be prepared to accept. Choices and trade-offs. That's what. Life's about people, and everybody's got choices and trade-offs to make. Every choice you make has a positive and a negative, and you got to weigh the outcomes again. So look, guys, we're going to end it here. 600 subscribers. That's what we're going for. I'm going to say goes to the next time. Peace. Thanks for making it to the end of this video. But do me another favor. Like and subscribe, but also check out these here. Either subscribe or watch videos, one or the other. I don't know which side, but hey, all right.